All right. We're live. Let's see if this worked. All right. I think we're working. I think we're here. Chat. Can you hear us?
No, wait, why can't I even hear you guys?
Can you hear me, Dom? Hello?
Everything's broke.
No one's in the chat. Oh, we got Carlos can hear us. Yes, good morning. We've made it, guys. We've survived. Thank you so much for being patient with some technical difficulties this morning. So we're running late. Should we just jump right in?
Jump right
Should we
in.
do the usual? Wednesdays is our free Wednesday, so we share our watch list versus go over some gappers. But maybe if we have time, we'll do some gappers as well. However, we just wasted a good 20 minutes trying to figure ourselves out. So technical difficulty morning. Huddy, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Couple stocks I'm watching this morning. First one is the runners from this week. So two stocks I have on my watch right now are quadruple C. Really
What
big
the
runner
fuck is going
from.
on?
Dom,
You good, Dom?
can you hear us? I don't think Dom can hear us.
Apparently not. Just mute him or something. Yeah, really big runner from yesterday, held its trend all day, dipping into close, probably caught some shorts off guard, thinking it was going to break down and then squeezed in the after hours. Uh, don't have the best understanding of the levels on this. It's kind of a choppy runner, so probably best for me to avoid unless it extends itself further. But either way, I have eyes on it. It's a liquid runner in small cap, so I do like that. Clearly not using their ATM that they have, so not basing any of this off fundamentals, but just looking for a technical breakdown sometime this week. Um, the other one that I am watching is NXTP, Next Play Technologies, another kind of a low float runner from Monday that came back some yesterday and now is within the range of the highs. So just curious as to how this one plays out. So keep eyes there as well. No real intention on trading them today. Um, Other than that, STTK is the big percent gainer of the day.
Wait,
I'll
Huddy.
keep eyes over there. They do have been, huh?
Now they say the stream's frozen. And I think it's on my stream, it's frozen too.
That's not good, but can they hear my voice?
Yeah, can you guys still hear us? This has been the most insane day ever. I've never seen so many technical difficulties from all sides. Sound is good. Yes, it's fine. Okay, they can hear us.
All right, so yeah, watching STTK, that's the big gapper over a buck today. They do have an ATM and they are up 120%. But other than that, as far as the news goes, it's kind of beyond my understanding. It's, some early phase news that is having quite the effect on the stock for now. And the last gapper that I'm kind of watching for today is RSLS. Reshape Life Science came out with their lap band 2.0, but they're also a horribly dilutive stock. History of blatant failures. So we'll see how that one trades in the morning, but I could be interested in a gap and crap type scenario, but nothing I'm going to be attacking right at the open. Just want to see it trade out for a sec, make sure that they are diluting. They did have like a warrant transaction situation where they repriced a bunch of warrants at 23 cents, but they're also not able to be sold for 6 months, if I'm reading that correctly. So maybe less warrants than people think it has, but it's still an absolute garbage company. So we'll see. But I'll be watching it because it is a big percent gainer.
Beautiful. So yeah, I guess people they still can't watch. Our stream's still frozen. Sorry guys. Today has just been. God, if we could list all the technical difficulties we've had this morning, you'd be surprised we're even live. You can even hear us. But yeah, so same for me here. If we look at my watch list, not too big. In fact, this week has been surprisingly slow. I
Oh man.
What's up? Say it again, Huddy. Can you hear me, Huddy?
You're doing the laggy choppy thing.
Really great. This is
Yeah.
just add that to the list. It's always when I share my screen, and I thought I fixed it. Yeah, RSLS I like as a gapper. They've got an insane amount of warrants at 33, as Huddy said. SHOT, I am still swing shorting that for $2 or at least sub $3, and we're just slowly hanging out in the high threes. Other than that, yeah, CCCC, I think needs to go higher. I'm not really interested on a day 2 here. Yes, this is a nice gap up, but I just see myself taking a loss on it if I'm trying to short it more so than not. So yeah, that's just kind of how I see that. Maybe if it runs to 354 today, tomorrow will be a better idea for it. Not something I really would go long either, but it's just something that is moving. Other than that, I mean, yeah, NXTP I'm watching, but I have no real play with. JTAI I'm also keeping an eye on to see if it can keep going, but it looks like this morning we're actually gapping down, so it looks like that run won't continue, at least for now. Other than that, that's all I've got. Very short and tight, quick watch list. Am I still doing the laggy thing?
No, you're fine.
Okay, good. But anyways, sorry everybody for such a hectic morning. Should we do a few questions? Apparently Dom's internet just went out, so he's having a great time. He's having a fantastic time.
Strong argument to not live in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go over all your stocks that you're watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been definitely a slower week. Just there are only a couple runners and a couple things left hanging from last week. We had so much destruction towards the end of last week on pretty much every single runner that we're kind of resetting the cycle here a bit off after like Vivos, parabolic into 40. Okay, you get all a bunch of secondary plays for that week after, and then you had one that got halted by the SEC, and then you had the rest of them which just kind of died off. So we're kind of resetting the cycle here. For now.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected this month or this week to be as slow as it is, but it just is. Now, hopefully, the gappers this morning and possibly CCCC get some momentum back. It's kind of been that's the weird thing that's been happening. Since October really? Would you agree, Huddy? That it's like 1 week of hotness, 2 weeks of slow. 1 week of hotness, 2 weeks of slow. It's very, very.
It's been that way since August with TTOO and NKLA.
Yeah, true. It's just very cyclical, and there's not a consistent flow. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just not what I would have expected at this point, heading into December. So, all right, let's see if there's any questions.
So, have you taken many trades this week?
I took 2 on Monday, and then 0 yesterday. So we're 2 for 2.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
1 for 1.
1 for 1. See, there we go. Yeah, a little slower. I have a feeling today might be a day of trading. I feel like RSLS is pretty attractive of a gapper, but we'll see. Dexter says, Kyle, great job with your interview with Kim. Thank you. Glad you guys liked that one. We also had technical difficulties on that last night. Everywhere. Go Explore asks, any chance that MLGO spikes again? MLGO, maybe, but probably not.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my money where my mouth is, that's for sure. if I was looking for it to spike. A lot of these liquidation plays really just get left for dead. I think the only way it spikes back is if they want to do another liquidation, in my opinion.
Look, the best thing that you could do is pull up, 5 or 6 charts that look exactly like MLGO, liquidation type of characteristics, and see how often they bounce back once they become illiquid and dead towards the lows. And then you can decide if you want to play that game. You're literally praying that the insiders of MLGO need to spike it up more to dilute if they didn't sell everything on that day, 12/7. So it's kind of a crap shot bet because you're swimming against the current in most circumstances. If they're selling and you're buying, that's against the current. But if you want some kind of representation of whether MLGO can bounce, it's better for you to go and look up every single liquidation play and see if they have worthwhile bounces and if you can time that correctly. I know that for most of the clovers, we're not going to be doing that because we know that, the odds of even nailing that are very low.
Right. Yeah, look at TOP. Look at what I think HOLO. Yep. Look at HUDI. I mean, all of these have just bled to nothing. HUDI not as much, but HUI actually did end up spiking again, but only because I think it was following TOP back in April as a sympathy. There's so many more, but I'm blanking on the other names. Nemo asks, under what circumstances would you short HRYU? Never heard of HRYU.
Kind of cute.
Oh, I remember seeing this on Scan. It needs way more volume. Way more volume. At 10, at 14
Yeah, I mean,
mil.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just think you need to wait for some kind of capitulation spike. So like maybe it is today where, today it opens, it trades, 2 or 3 times the volume. The candle itself is sped up in price action. It's at, the twos or something, like something crazy where it looks a lot like CAPT from the other week, where you have this obvious top candle and a very extended run with decent volume, like exhaustion volume, really. So much volume that the stock can't support it. And that's not where we are right now. And so it's not even on a watch until it does that.
Right.
In which case, when it does that, it will be on your scanner as a big percent gainer trading volume.
Right. For me, just too illiquid. It's too irregular. Yesterday I had 14 mil volume, but most of that volume came in within a 30-minute time span and then just went back to being illiquid. So not really your natural flowing, extended stock. All right,
but I do like the gap ups. I do like what it's doing.
From a daily chart, I mean, it looks good. It just, you get to the intraday and it's like, oh, not as good. And guys, yes, I know the video's frozen. If you're joining in late, you have
just
you
one
have
quick
missed
volume spurt and then nothing.
Oh, from HRYU. But if you guys are joining late, the video is frozen. I understand, and there's really nothing we can do about it. You have missed a whirlwind of technical difficulties. This is just the most recent and hopefully the last. As you know, Dom's not here. Dom's internet went out on him, and that was like the last of 10 difficulties for him. So quite the hectic morning. We're just happy you guys can at least hear us. Let's do a couple more questions before we close them out here. SPRC first green day question mark? Let's see.
Probably not.
SPRC. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dom's really the first guy to ask, but I know what Dom would say. He would say no because it's gapping up. He probably would prefer it to be running from the bottom. And
He'd probably want the first green day to be attached to the initial run. So more, and I don't think he would have ever liked this one, but like more of that 1129 type of an attempt, like while it's still within the cycle. Whereas now we're really far off. There's no volume. Like now you have a PR and it's already gapped up quite a big percentage from the lows. So the risk reward is kind of shot. And you get into the boat of, is the PR meaningful or not? And that's all price action based. So it's definitely not a first green day for him, even though it's coming off the lows.
right.
It's kind of a different subset of first green days that I don't think he really plays.
Right.
And also SPRC is like a dilutive ticker that every time it gaps up, it fails. So, you're playing with a situation where you're swimming up the current again, big dilution, history of failure, swim up the current.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost as if this isn't even a first green day. This is just a day that they have news. The stock already naturally fades. In fact, that's actually what this entire run has been. If you look at the daily chart of SPRC, every gap up or run they've had is because of news. Because if there was no news, every single chart, like look in between the gap ups with news, it just fades. It literally is like top left to bottom right, perfectly, like in a perfect diagonal fashion. The only reason why it stays up at this price is because there's some kind of PR, some kind of news that keeps it alive, which is actually quite odd because they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 PRs in the last 2 months. It's quite interesting, but let's do
All of them, by the way, closed red on the day. Even the one that spiked was the day after. So
right, exactly. Let's do one more question here. How about View? Stock is up 100% in the past few days. View.
okay, I've been kind of seeing that one on scanners. Kind of.
Yeah, give us your thoughts here, Huddy.
Um, yeah, just right off the bat, it needs more volume if I'm even going to be interested. Like I'm imagining you're either thinking, well, there's two things you could be thinking. Either breakout over three or, 4-day run, first red day. Right now, for me, it doesn't really have the volatility to have my interest. I want bigger range on the candles, bigger volume, if I'm going to be short or long biased, really.
What's that?
So, I see construct
Oh, maybe
here.
it's
I
frozen.
see that they are doing something, but it doesn't really fit my criteria to be long or short into today. And I kind of see it for both, right? Like you have 4 days of uptrend in a row. Like this could have a pullback, something polite to 1 to 2, maybe, 40-cent range. Again, it's not huge volatility, so that's kind of like a lot to ask for. And on the flip side, if it squeezes and people are short this stock for some reason from three, I don't like buying squeezes on day 4 of the move, maybe day 5. Like I just think it's poor odds. So um, I don't know. I'm curious to hear Kyle's thoughts actually too.
Yeah, VIEU, not EU, EW, View, the ticker here. This isn't really a run for me. This feels like a bounce. It seems like the run on the 1st and 4th of December was the run, given it has way more volume. And these last 4 to 5 days has just been this little bounce that oddly is getting very close to the highs, but it doesn't. It's not. It's not the move I'm looking for, in terms of a run. Like bounce short, okay, maybe, but then you get into what Huddy was saying, very liquid. It reminds me a lot of MNY for those who traded that ticker. Had a really sweet run,
Yeah.
MNY late November, and then starting December, it had this very much more liquid kind of grind of a bounce. And yeah, it has faded off, a buck a share from that bounce kind of high roughly. But you would have had to swing for 4 days. So I think the same thing here. I think View is too liquid to where, it probably fades off, but it's going to do it slowly. It's going to do it liquidly. And who knows how many days you're going to be short to even catch a 50 to 60%, or not percent, a cent per share move. So not something I'm going to waste my time on personally.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody, we're gonna head into the room.
I see it
And
though. I mean, it's an interesting chart. I just don't know whether to be long or short.
View, yeah. But we're gonna head to the room. We're going to get prepared for the day from the watches we shared earlier. Very sorry about the technical difficulties. There's more than I can even count, as I stated earlier. The fact that you guys can hear me is awesome. But as always, guys, $7 7-day free trial. Not to free, $7 7 days. You guys get in. I do have a webinar yesterday or tomorrow. Huddy and Dom did their webinar yesterday. Apparently, everyone loved it. So get in the room. Would love to have you part of Clover, and we will see you guys on Wine Wednesday. Let's pray and cross our fingers that Wine
That our
Wednesday runs
technology works.
way smoothly, more smoothly than today. Or this morning. See everybody. Have a great trading day. Peace.